Beyblade. A Beyblade. A Beyblade. A Beyblade. A Beyblade. A Beyblade. Sorry. So sorry. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Spooky Thoughts, where I talk about my thoughts on scary movies that nobody asked me for. Today's video is none other than the box office flopping Disney-Fox merger reject, Underwater. Now I know what you're thinking. Netimar, why would you do your thoughts on a movie that nobody's seen and probably won't mean anything before the year is out? And you know what? That's a good question. The answer is equally as simple. I was terrified. Call me a scaredy cat, but this movie scared me for several reasons. Like one of them being, I'm actually really scared of depths. And by depths, I mean like underwater depths. Like we don't know what's going on at the bottom of the ocean. Like that thing is so deep. We have explored space more than we have underwater. And that to me is terrifying. Of course, there's a few other reasons that we're about to get into, but before we get into that, why not hit the subscribe button? You're already here. Go on. Do it. It'll feel really good. And while you're subscribing, don't forget to hit the bell so that you're notified about every time we upload. Alright, with that out of the way, let's get on with Spooky Thoughts Episode 2. Okay, I've got one. One what? A Beyblade. Aren't you too old for toys like that? No, you're never too old for Beyblades. Wow, okay, relax. And what I mean is that I have another spooker to go up against your Christmas nonsense. Okay then, shoot. Remember when we watched Underwater? You're joking, right? You're trying to unseat Home Alone with that pathetic runt of a movie. It's not a runt. I bring you a time-tested classic, crowned by the honor of ETV repeats, owned by none other than the kid face of Corley McCulkin. And you respond with the January release Disney reject? Don't disrespect it like that. We shouldn't even speak its name between these walls. You're wrong. I think that you're just getting caught up with what the critics say. I think that you really liked it a lot, but you don't want to admit it. Come on, man, don't act like it didn't scare you. I heard you scream, just as I did. Yes, I did scream, because it was petrifying. So then, why are you resisting? A horror movie has done its job when it scared you. Just because it scared me doesn't make it good. There's so many aspects to a movie beyond how well it can scare you that makes it good. Ugh. Now you're just moving the goalposts. Moving the goalposts? Trust me, I wouldn't have to. You should give it more credit. It's an original movie. It's not based on a book or based on a comic. It's not another wretched remake. It's standing on its own 2 feet. True. Very true. It's not necessarily reinventing anything, but it did everything right to fit within its subgenre. And you love Jessica Henwick. Yes, it's good to see her in something outside of Iron Fist. And Kirsten Stewart gave us an excellent lead female role to drool over. Oh, she was fantastic on screen. Mwah. You see? Oh, I could never fault this because of the cast. But you see, on that same note, the cost is not enough to carry this entire film. Do your worst. Alright, well, if you insist. First off, let's start with how this movie doesn't tell us anything, but seems to assume that we know what it's talking about. They decide that they're going to go through an elevator down to the seafloor, walk across the seafloor to something called a roebuck. What is a roebuck? What exactly is a roebuck? Is that like a counterfeit Reebok shoe? What are they going to get from getting in a counterfeit Reebok shoe? It was the drill thing that they were using. Then why not ever mention that it's a drill? I spent too much time wondering how a Reebok shoe was going to save them. Okay, maybe they said roebuck a few too many times. And one more thing. This movie stuck to its roots through thick and thin, to the point where the black guy dies in the movie first. He sacrificed himself to save Nora. Bruh, the black guy died first. When was the last time you saw the black guy die first in a horror movie? It's been a while. Damn right it's been a while. You expect me to root for the movie that killed the guy from the unicorn store? Please, unicorn store wasn't even that good. We can save that for another video. You're still doing that? I thought you stopped doing that. And there was no character development. One by one, I watched these Americans get picked off by these underwater sea monsters. And at any point, I don't feel a thing. Is it not enough that they're human? No, it's not. How many times do I have to care about these crews getting stuck in isolated places and getting killed by monsters? You need to earn my sympathy at some point. I'm not the one who told you to walk across the ocean floor. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. You're cold, man. You're cold. I'm not cold. I'm smart. Who in their right mind agrees to work on an underwater rickety space station? It was an underwater drilling station. It doesn't matter what it was. Who accepts this job and thinks that they're going to come out okay? Heck, the captain had been the longest person working there, and he had even seen the monsters. So tell me, why? Why is he still there? Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking. He wasn't. None of them were. And now look, they summoned Cthulhu, the Lovecraftian Prince of Darkness. Honestly, like that thing that swallowed Nora whole wasn't scary enough. Jesus. Yeah. Those monsters were really scary. I'll say. But I think that wasn't the real monster. Nani? Think about it. In the beginning of the movie, when you're looking at the title crawl, they explain to you that the company that is drilling in the Mariana Trench has been continuing its operations despite complaints of these large creatures attacking the rig. And even after the events of the film and Nora's sacrifice, it was made very clear that they had no intention of stopping. That is true. Oh, that is very true. So with all that in mind, who do you think the real monster is? It's the corporation! Bingo. Impressive. Impressive. Very impressive. But I know you're not gonna budge. I thought it was good, but I guess you're right. It's not gonna beat Home Alone. No. No? Look, you're right. It can't beat Home Alone. But this movie deserved a fighting chance. It got no marketing, and it deserved to be more than just something thrown aside due to corporate politics. You're right. Thanks, bro. That being said, still hasn't beat Home Alone, so what else you got? Well, since you shot down Underwater, I'm going to have to use my trump card. Oh yeah? And what would that be? I don't know. What do you guys think? Is Underwater a hidden cinematic gem, or does it crack under the pressure of its predecessors? I, for one, really loved this movie, and due to its lackluster marketing, I found out about it the old-fashioned way. I went to the cinema, and I can't remember what movie I was watching at the time, but I remember seeing the poster for Underwater, and I normally know what's going in and out of the cinema, so I'm looking at this poster like, excuse me, where did you come from? I didn't watch it then, but just to show how impactful this movie was, my brother watched the movie, and we hadn't even spoken about it before then, but I'm assuming that the same thing happened to him, because there was no trailer going around, like no social media posts. He probably saw the poster and he got into it himself. So after he watched the movie, he hounded on me and he made sure that I watched it before it left cinemas. And honestly, I'm glad I did, because it was phenomenal. It terrified me. It spoke directly to my fear of what's going on under the sea. And I had no idea what I was getting into. So I came in with no expectations. And even from that perspective, Underwater blew me out the water. Yeah, I'm gonna get crucified for that one. The performances were great, the production was beautiful with all of these cool suits, and they did some very fascinating things with the lighting. Oh, stunning. I highly encourage that if you haven't seen this movie, you go ahead and you watch it. I searched to see if it was on Netflix and I didn't see it there. I think that maybe you can buy it on Amazon, but honestly, really watch it. It's such a good film, and I think you should watch it by any means necessary. By any means necessary. Continuing my thoughts, I think, you know what, there were times watching Underwater that I was reminded by Gravity, the movie with Sandra Bullock. What I found similar about those two movies is you have these two women getting flung across these places, these highly unexplored places. They're on their own and they're trying to survive. Well, in Nora's case, she wasn't really on her own. Or she was at the time because everybody was dead. Look, that part doesn't matter. The point is she's getting flung in the deep blue sea underneath such a high volume of water. And in Sandy B's case, she's being flung all throughout space. And so, through that conclusion, I deducted that if you liked Gravity, you're probably going to like Underwater. In my opinion, Underwater is the better movie. And I am not insulting Sandra Bullock, guys. Please do not light me up in the comments. I love Sandy B just like any normal person does. But Underwater to me was just a better film. Lastly, I had an idea that when it came to me, it just made so much sense. I had to share it. I really thought about it. But look, this company that's drilling in the Mariana Trench, they kept drilling despite all of these sightings of these monsters that are attacking the rig and these eyewitness accounts of the employees. And yes, companies can be greedy. Companies can not care about their employees' safety. But what if this is something more sinister? What if the company that's mining in the Mariana Trench is actually Cthulhu worshippers, right? But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. Sorry, MatPat, please don't sue me. But yeah, that's all from me, folks. That's all I have to say about Underwater. Please follow us on all our socials. All the links are down in the description box below. If you liked this video, please give it a massive thumbs up. It really helps the channel. If you hated it, give it a thumbs up too, because I'm sure it channels the same amount of energy. Let me know in the comments what movie you'd like me to do next. And as I said earlier in the video, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell to be notified about every time we upload. And remember, subscribing is free, and I'm told good fortune comes to you if you do. So who knows, maybe by our next upload, you'll be spared when Cthulhu comes back to take control of his dominion. Alright guys, that's all from me. Stay above ground, wear a mask, and give love. Bye-bye.